Yes, we started our webinar. We are live here on the webinar platform. It's also on SME Banking TV on our YouTube channel. So welcome to the webinar. My name is Olena Gryniuk. I'm CE Director at the SME Banking Club, and I will host today's webinar. And today we speak about award-winning SME banking. What does it mean exactly and how to build it? And my guests today are Nelson Wootton, CEO and co-founder at SaaSCADA, and Keith Middlemass, Chief Operating Officer at Alika Bank, United Kingdom. So Nelson and Keith, welcome and thank you for joining.
Thank you, Elena.
Thank you.
Yes, and before we go to the topic, to the questions to our speakers, just to mention some organizational information for you. So we plan our webinar for 30 minutes. We are recording this webinar, so right after we finish, you will receive the link to the video. And yes, today's format is a discussion, is a Q&A session. So you're welcome to type your questions to our speakers in the chat right now, and I will read them, and of course we will answer all your questions. And to get to the topic and to say a little bit more about our speakers and the companies they present, so I would like to start from the Alika Bank, which is an example of let me show the award this bank won during last years. And this is the example of the banks built especially for servicing business customers, small business customers, SMEs, with the business size of from 10 to 250 employees, so pure SMEs, I would say. And the business model of the bank combines actually modern digital tools and also human relationships and tailored solutions for the businesses. And SaaSCADA is the partner and provider of the core banking system for Alika Bank. And yes, we would like to discuss all the successes that you together in the UK. So probably the first question, Keith, will be to you. So tell us how exactly are you different on the market, and what were your original goals and challenges when launching the bank for SMEs?
Yeah, thanks, Olena, and great to be here. And thanks for the invite. We're very proud of the awards we've got. You know, there's I was counting them up. We had 15 awards last year, so we've done well. We certainly have. We have grown rapidly as well, and we have been awarded the fastest growing company in the UK. I think that's ever. You know, so we are certainly achieving profitability and achieving growth. And so the question does become, so how are you doing it? And clearly with Nelson here, I can say it's all because of Nelson. And,
I wish that was true.
but I won't say that. No, Alina, it is about the ability to focus on a specific need in the market. And we have this underserved segment in the UK, which is this group of companies that sits between the micro enterprises, you know, the one-man bands, the partnerships, etc., and the large corporates. And that has been the larger banks, because it's have been withdrawing from it, because it has the complexity and elements of the complexity of the larger businesses. But at the same time, it needs special needs for the products we offer, how we offer it, through the channels we offer it. And just this is a personal summary of what the businesses are looking for and how we differentiate. But it is a combination, as you said so well up front, of having really good relationships with our customers, understanding our customers, and working together with our customers. So relationship is very important to us, and that's personal relationships. But at the same time, ensuring that we offer really good value and across the product set that we have, be it lending or deposits or current accounts. and at the same time make it very, very convenient for customers to be able to access us and to be able to transact and do business with us. So it's a combination of relationships, value, and convenience, which we focus on, and the deep understanding of the sector that we serve. And we do that at the same time. The banks in the UK are actually withdrawing from the segment, which is because of the cost to serve and because they aren't able to differentiate. And the cost attached to offering relationship and deep relationships is seen to be uneconomic. So there's all sorts of drivers which are causing them to underserve this market, which is the opportunity we have, and hence the awards and hence the growth.
What is exactly your servicing model of SMEs? Where this balance between the technology and the human touch, human relationship?
It's such a good question, because I think the answer is very straightforward, and I'll give you the answer. But the thing that most banks fall short of is execution. Most people know what they want. Most companies know what's needed, and that balance is ensuring that we're able to have the right conversations at the right time with the customer. And what I mean by that is not to talk about them when they lose a password, when they have to engage with them when a payment doesn't go through or there's an issue.
Yeah.
You don't want that stuff. You don't want those conversations. So it's actually having the meaningful conversations about, I need to have working, to have funding for a building, or I need to make payments for these specific customers. I need to have these controls in place for my customers. So it's the conversations around how we support the business. It's that we have the relationship and drive the relationship, and using the technology for the conversations which the customers, and I've been a business myself, you don't want to have, which is issues, and you don't want issues. You don't want to be talking about having to phone up to stop a payment, those sort of basic things. So it's keeping the conversations on the value add stuff and making sure that the technology and the digital solutions we've got keeps that a simple and clear proposition, which stops and doesn't cause customers to talk to us about things they don't want to talk to us about. And I'll get on to a little hobby horse of mine, which is also the large banks also cause customers to have conversations with them. So if you do a due diligence check on a customer, that most banks will ask a customer to give them stuff, and I don't want to do that, so it's the wrong way that they're treating the relationship. So we focus on the meaningful stuff and helping businesses grow.
Okay. And how did you choose SaaSCader as your partner? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we were chatting earlier about this, weren't we? Because it was before my time. So I can give you the reasons, and then I can tell you exactly why when I came on board, obviously it was in my gift to say whether it was the right choice or not. And the reason that I said absolutely an imperative yes, that it is the right choice. And that choice is based off the back of the technology stack. So it is, cloud native. It's got all the right, event driven. It's got all the right technology behind it, and that enables it to be very configurable, and also enables it enables us to be able to use the data to serve our customers better as well. So it was the tech stack. It offers very good value, and it equally as important, the operational resilience of the platform is very, very good, and that's because it's on the modern technology. There is a direct correlation between customer satisfaction and the number of incidents you have, and that's not a good correlation you want. And so the operational resilience, which is a huge focus of regulation in the UK, is absolutely critical. And so that is a big tick in the box. And then finally, just the working relationships, how we work, and it's a very responsive and receptive relationship, more of a partnership than a supplier relationship. So all those reasons, they got a big tick, and were the key reasons at the start in choosing SaaSCader.
Nelson, would you like to add something to that?
No, I think it's obviously really lovely to hear that. It is a partnership, I think, and we like to make that available to those customers that want to build that relationship with us. We're not experts at banking. We're really, really good at technology.
Okay.
So we need our customers to help show us how things can be made easier, how we can help them improve, what's useful and not useful about the sort of data sets and information that we can provide off of this platform. So for us, it works really well, working in partnership with our customers. It's super exciting whenever we get a customer that wants to operate like that, because it deepens our knowledge of the market and the sector, and that helps everybody that we work with. I also think that it's worth noting that Alica is a very tech business, probably a little more, as heavy on tech as it is on banking. The team is incredibly competent, which is always really good to work with. And they're very focused and they know what they want to achieve. And that drives innovation to the point where we share individuals across our two teams, across our businesses when the time is right to do that, to make sure knowledge is passed between them as quickly and efficiently as possible. But I do think a lot of what Alica have achieved is because they're almost a tech company before they're a bank.
All right. So as from what I know is that you started your cooperation from the products of current account for the businesses, and then it's went step by step, further with other products. How was it?
Yeah, Nelson, you can jump in as well.
Sure. Current account was the core focus.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that were happening at that time. Keith can give greater depth and colour to that. One of the challenges we have in the UK for SMEs is there's a big gap when you kind of get to sort of 20 to 200 people. You need different things from your bank. You've probably got a finance director that's starting to build a finance team that need to make payments, and you need to create layers of permission within your organization as an SME in order to kind of make sure that you're safely dealing with your money. And SME banking kind of works in the UK if you're 1 or 2 people, and it works very well if you're 500 people, but there's really no great products between those two. And one of the key objectives that Alica set out to address at that time was to provide a current account that did fill that gap, and kind of created what's typically seen as sort of enterprise style permissions, 4i, 6i processes in banking, but make that available for SMEs. That's matured, grown, and developed, as you would expect, over the time we've worked together. And it's probably not right for me to say where it's going now, but it's certainly one of the key objectives that they set out to address when we began the project. And perhaps, Keith, you can talk about what you've learned and what's different and what you might do differently next time.
Yeah, I'd like to reinforce that point about the specific needs of the segment. So, there's been some careful design around how we're able to set those different user types, and I won't get into the detail of it, but it's it's really important that for us to have understood what the customers were looking for in terms of those different user types. And then getting a design which is simple and intuitive to be able to enable it in the core banking platform. The most of the providers, as Nelson was saying, overcomplicate it because they have to cater for. These are the banking providers have to cater for the very large corporate, 500,000 of people, and therefore the granular permissions that have got you do need a large book to be able to understand exactly how to set those permissions, etc. So designing that and ensuring that we're able to offer a simple, intuitive, and also just a very easy system to use was critical. In terms of where it's going, now the journey is never really complete, because there's always specific use cases that customers need certain features and functions on. And so we've been entirely driven by our customer base. So we have a feedback loop coming through our relationship managers, through various other mechanisms, to ensure that the backlog that we've got for feature enhancements meets the needs of our current customer base. And that's going to change, because as we get different customers on, they will require different things. And that varies across expense management through to any of the solutions one has for large payments, small payments, etc., and just as I said earlier, some of the permissions. So ultimately, we'll be building out. We're serving different types of segments as well. So there's specific needs for underserved segments in the market. I won't go into details, but there's certain pockets of types of companies in the UK that have very, very bespoke type solutions, which if you look at the Syscada solution, it is very configurable, going back to the reasons we chose them. So we are able to configure products, configure the way that it operates to meet those needs. We recently had a case of one particular type of organization looking for a user to be able to access from one group of organizations, other people to be able to transact from another group of organizations, and then a central party being able to control it and view it with data being sent out. So you get these bespoke type solutions, and the beauty of what we've got is we can actually set that up and configure it really easily, and with the front be able to get users intuitively using it. Ultimately, we talked about this slightly earlier. There's no need for a bank account. Ultimately, hopefully, we'll be API-led once our customers are mature enough to be able to use some of the technology or the APIs that we'd be able to offer. So over time, that's what we're building is actually going to be pretty much irrelevant, but it takes time for our customers to be able to adopt and adapt their own systems to be able to use that. So that's a longer journey, but strategically, that's where we're heading.
Yes. Yeah, we've been discussing that actually, yes, transactional banking could be embedded into the other business platforms of the SMEs, which is primarily invoicing platform or accounting platform. And we also discussed even here in the CE with some of the leading banks that really the dashboard, I mean the list of the accounts and logging into the transactional banking, this is not what SMEs need. This is what banks made SMEs do, just because they build these dashboards and access to online and mobile banking in this way. But what SMEs really need is that this first dashboard should be either e-invoicing or cash flow projection, showing where their business is exactly right now, and the accounts and the payments and transactions, these are only the tools, right?
Yeah.
So and the tools to issue the invoice, to ask the counterparty to pay for this invoice, to finance some costs of the business. And this is so the starting point could be really, maybe should be even really different for SMEs, right? So you say that the fast onboarding of the customer and opening of the current account is your advantage on the market right now, right? With your offer to the SMEs.
Yeah, and it's the combination. We're offering a really good set of features, functionality, but it's that combination with the relationship. So, we're not sitting behind or sitting in an ivory tower. We're entirely accessible. So going back to those 3 points about convenience, value and relationship, we're combining that to make sure that we're offering the best to our customers. So but I want to reiterate that relationship point, because people want to talk to people, and it's not, if you've got an issue, you want to be able to figure out what's going on, and you don't need to try to figure it out yourself. So,
but I would like to talk to people. Actually, maybe SMEs would like to talk to relationship manager who really understands their needs, right, and understand the business
and has all the information
help.
at hand.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I would like actually.
I don't think SMEs are alone in this, right? I think we want to self-service as people as much as possible on our terms, on our timeline, when we want to do it and it's convenient to us. But if we need some help, you need to have a human being there to provide that help and assistance. And I think that it's a very human thing still. I love the concept of headless banking. I think that's your phrase, Keith, not mine. The idea that businesses won't really interact that much with the bank because they'll use their accounting platforms and other business software to drive those transactions in and out of their business. I think an amazing concept, but I'm not sure the businesses are yet ready for it. It's quite a big leap for us human beings that are used to kind of doing my banking over here and my accounting over here, and love to see it though.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think if you take each type of process that exists in a business, you'll find it differs by those different processes. So if you're doing pure expense management, that has become to some extent headless, because you're landing up just managing cards, managing the dashboard, managing permissions on the card. You're doing all of that. There's no keying in of transactions. Reconciliations happen automatically. If you do month-end runs on payment of invoices, that is where it's not quite there and should be. And some of the large corporates are already there. There is corporate APIs that have that transactions. You can go through each of these processes: large ad hoc payments, international payments. They've all got different processes within organizations, and some are being digitized quicker than others. But the thing that's holding it up is the accounting packages and the integration with the myriad of accounting packages that are out there at the moment, and getting that data transfer happening. We're ready.
Yes.
Do you know what? I bet you the accounting people, if they were on this webinar, would be saying what's really holding it up is the banks and this myriad of APIs, all slightly different.
Exactly. I think, we can talk, and we've been talking here in the region about the terminology called Uberization of payments, right? And of banking is meaning that, you like you use the Uber, you put your card details once, but then you just need a taxi. You don't need to do the payment for a taxi, right? It is done automatically right after you use the service you need. The same should be with the business payments. This is no different. And I think that the businesses are more ready than the banks in that. Nelson, I would like to turn to you. We have actually 7 minutes till the end of the webinar. So I really invited, and you can start your questions if you have ones, and we'll discuss them right now. I want Nelson ask you about the data, because we've been discussing with you during our conversations back in November here in Krakow, and you stressed that one of the benefits of your core system is actually delivering the real-time data. And I think this is very, very crucial, because products plus data, meaning which trigger also should be used, and what is the trigger for the RM or for the relationship manager to offer the product to the SME. It is always about the data. So knowing the customer today is always about the data. Tell us more about how you do this actually.
So I think I won't go into the technical details. The bottom line is, off the back of our platform, we provide a stream of real-time transactional information. As interest is applied, people buy a coffee, money is moved, as transactions happen, there is a real-time stream of these events happening. And the way I kind of try to help people think about this is, if you want to understand people, you really need to look at their behaviors. You can try asking people, and they'll give you interpreted answers about what they believe they do, but their behavior is ultimately the best way of understanding somebody. And in banking, that stuff isn't in your CRM. It's in your core banking system. It's the transactions that are being committed to that customer's ledger that help you understand the kind of behaviors and the kind of products that might be applicable to them. So one of the little innovations we worked on with Alica is we created a interest-bearing savings space inside the current account. So what that would allow customers to do is to put liquidity that they held inside their current account into this space so that the money wasn't available on the debit card or the normal payment system. So it's ring-fenced funds, and it would earn interest in there. And understanding which clients are heavily using that gives you an idea of which clients are going to be super interested in savings bonds or other kind of products that would help them better utilize and use their money. Clearly, a fairly simplistic example, but a critical one. If you don't have the data set, if you don't get that flow of information into your business, and if you do get it, you have to action on it. But that's when the magic happens, right? Seeing those behaviors, watching those transactions come in, understanding what's happening, then using your relationship team to reach out to those customers and suggest to them that you're seeing these things happen, and maybe this would be something that would be applicable or useful, starts to unlock serious value. That isn't just a bank sitting there quietly kind of watching the money go in and out. That's a bank actively trying to work for you, the customer. That's quite magical, and it doesn't happen often enough.
Keith, could you give some examples?
Let me just add to that, because they totally, that it goes back to this underserved segment, because the amount of money that sits in zero interest earning current accounts for businesses is huge, and we offer interest on money that is in a transactional account through the way that Nelson talked about, which then, as you say, you do land up understanding so much more about your customer, and therefore the relationship that we have with our customer. And we're empowered to be able to have proper conversations about their businesses, both on the lending side and on the transaction banking side.
Yeah, this is cool. And what is next? What is the next product you will offer, Keith, to your customers? And actually, what are your plans for the future?
Well, the big word for me is always growth. Sure that we serve our customers really well, but that's then having the knock-on effect, because we're doing such a great job of serving our customers, that we're able to grow our customer base and grow the products that we have. And that's so we will be increasing the savings products, the current account functions, features, the lending products that we have to be able to meet the needs of the customer base that we've got. We are very focused on this customer base, and I think that makes us very successful.
Thank you. And Nelson, what about you?
I'm going to do lots more stuff with data. So one of the things that we've learned about our platform and core banking in general is traditional core banking systems, the data that you use, that you read as an institution, is treated very preciously and very delicately, and don't do anything serious, you might break it. Because of the way we've structured our platform, you can create all sorts of different data templates in there and have a look at the data in all sorts of different ways. So we're going to start building out some tools this year to allow our customers to start playing with that data, to give them insights that they might not necessarily ask straight off the bat, because we think that's where the real power is. And it'll hopefully promote more people to do exactly the kind of behavior that we're seeing with Alica, which is using that data to refocus products and increase and drive customer satisfaction.
Well, good luck with that. And I wish you all the growth that you plan this year and for the next one. Thank you very much for your contribution, for sharing your experience, Nelson and Keith. Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you, our attendees. So we are closing the webinar. As I mentioned, we will send you the link to this session. And if you have questions to Nelson and Keith afterwards, you are welcome also to email. Thank you very much. Yeah, see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.